Hello, friends from the manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the February 2024 new releases for manga. And aside from this YouTube channel, definitely check us out on other social media platforms at PRH International Comics. I'll post the links directly below: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter X, and I think I mentioned all of them. Let's see if
Yeah,
I think I did. I should have mentioned Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House, so the titles that you'll see are those that we can sell around the world. So that's it with that. And am I missing anything? Oh yeah. If you see titles on here that you're like, wait, you talked about this before. And I'm like, you probably are right, because you
yes.
may see some titles that shifted and their on sale dates. So definitely be aware of that for sure. So you might see repeat titles on here. So we'll go ahead and get started on our picks for the month. Then we'll go into volume ones that you should be excited for, and then we'll run through the remaining list for the month of February, so you could take a look at that as well. So, all right, to get started here, we'll go to our first pick.
And it's one of my picks. This is Bloodblade 1 by Omase. This is so the short description of this is Count Dracula is reborn as a katana wielding young vampirist in a new in a in a new never before seen action manga. That's what it says on there. That's the basic of it. But there's so much more. First of all, um, we should mention that this, even though it's made in Japan, it's first published in English, which is something very strange and different.
Mhm.
Uh, so it makes this even more important for you to get the English because it's the original. But also the story is for fans of things like Vampire Hunter D, Helsing, Dance in the Vampire Bund, things like that. It's an action horror, very gritty story. Takes place in alternate history Europe, which I always love the stories that are like that. And basically is Count Dracula, like I mentioned. It's reborn as a katana-wielding young vampirist, and as I mentioned, in a alternate history Europe. And after reincarnating, he saves this girl named Clara. And after talking to Clara, Clara explains that she is the creation of a certain Victor Frankenstein, and that also she's running away because there's this organization called Cerberus, who is capturing monsters to study them and to create an army of human monster hybrids to take over the world. So both Clara and Count Dracula, then they decide to run away, but also try to investigate and go to the Monster Island to try to fight Cerberus and basically save the world from this monster hybrid army that is coming. It's very cool premise. As you can see, very beautiful cover, and the few interiors that I saw that they look extremely beautiful too. So I highly recommend that. This is right up my alley. This is sci-fi, fantasy, action, horror, everything mixed in. And then you have characters that do not appear to be very strong, but they are overpowered, which is another big thing for mangas that I love. So, very big one. I think it's going to be very big. So keep an eye on this one and make sure you stock up on it for sure.
All right, so my pick is Gazing at the Star Next Door, with a very beautiful cover here. This is about Shiaki, who is a pretty normal teenage girl. And since she was a kid, she just had this thing for her best friend, Subaru, who is fast becoming the hottest actor in Japan. So, like, the problem with this is that because of their acting career, uh, Shiaki is having a hard time with this, because the acting world and fame is pulling away her best friend and slipping farther, farther away because of their job. And not only that, because they're becoming so popular in the acting world and, by, the population, that everyone is, like, adoring, her best friend, and, she just feels, I guess, a little bit of jealousy, right? And just wanting to, like, have her friend for her own, but knowing that with her friend being in the public eye now, things are different and their relationship is starting to change. So it's a question of, will Chiaki finally take her shot and try her hand at, like, conversing and getting into this relationship if it's possible, who knows, with her best friend, or will she give up on, Subaru to, like, his adoring, public? So, yeah, so I like the tongue sticking out.
Yeah, I know.
The mask.
I know. I know,
It's
I
so
know, I know
cheeky.
you love this story and all
I
that, but
love
I
it.
know what grabbed you first was the cover because this is the kind
I
of quirky cover that you love. Yes. Very cool. Very cool.
And this is probably gonna go well for the both of them, maybe, because he's
Yeah.
like twirling her hair as well.
Yeah, and
Uh,
well, and I love how she got him ready, like mask down, sunglasses off. Now you're ready. It's
sunglasses off.
tongue out, and now you're ready. All right.
It's a
Very
great story.
cool.
I
Very
can't wait
cool.
for this.
Yeah. All right. So next up, another historical fiction for me, but this one is like, with very more accurate historical backgrounds on it. This is the Blue Wolves of Mibu, number one, Tsuyoshi Yasuda. I usually do pretty well with the names, and this today I'm not so good, so I'm sorry about that. Like I said, this is a historical fiction action adventure, and it's actually during the time of other mangas like to set where it's the times of a lot of samurais and running in Japan, and big things like Rurouni Kenshin was based in the same era, so very familiar for historical manga. But Neo, who's the character you see here on the cover, is an orphan who can't help but dream of a better world, and he uh, he meets these two men who are part of a group of samurais who are fighting justice. So first of all, I should have said this is, like I said, during the 1860s, and it's during the twilight of the shogunate. Japan is right on the verge of like this big change. There's a lot of political and military upheaval, and there's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of blood on the streets. Um, there's, like I said, Ronins running around a lot around the streets, and this actual group that was created called the Shinsengumi was a group of independent young samurais who came together to sort of police on their own the streets while during this very hard time in Japan. And this is sort of a story of how that group got started. And like I said, Neo meets these two other gentlemen who are samurai who have their own group called the people say they're the Blue Wolves of Mibu, and he joins them in their quest to sort of save people and uphold justice in such a lawless time during the 1960s in Japan. So it's a very cool premise, very cool story. Also, there's been lots of announcements recently about this because an anime has been announced, but there's been a lot of announcements about cast, about director, and so if you go online, you're going to see a lot of information about what's coming. Hopefully next year, sometime in 2024, we would get the anime for this. So very excited about this. I think this is one of those epic ones. And I was looking at the schedule of these, and looks like we're getting them every 4 or 5 months. We're getting one. So we'll get a couple of them. Sorry, three of them. So this one this year, in February, and three more. Sorry. So we'll get 4 volumes next year. So it's kind of a very good schedule to keep reading. And like I said, looking forward for the anime too at the same time. Great.
My next pick is Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. This is volume one. So at age 45, this office worker named Sasaki just had about enough with the corporate grind. And his only solace at this point is smoking, but also getting a friendly smile from the supermarket cashier of Yamada. But like one day, like when he really needs the energetic smile, it's not present because he can't find Amada after a particularly hard day um at work. And so he's like, "Oh, what am I gonna do? I guess I have to smoke." So he goes like he tries to find Yamada, which and goes in the back, finds this striking different woman who invites him to smoke with her. So they're just smoking and bonding, and this this guy, Sasaki, like he like I guess without expecting it, makes this new smoking buddy at this convenience store, and like they tease each other and everything. But this banter that they have is really amusing. It's a relationship that is what draws in actually me, and I imagine you as a reader if you do pick this up, which I highly recommend that you do. But what Sasaki doesn't realize is that he already knows her. And I guess you'll have to read to find out how he comes to that realization. It's just this like I like these stories because it's just, you don't know like a regular casual day and all of a sudden you just meet he just meets someone that just makes him less lonelier and able to um survive a
Yeah.
life after having to go through a job that he's not satisfied with. So this actually gained traction and attention because of the next manga awards, which I'm glad it did because this is such a great piece of work and a great
Hmm.
story. And I love the attention that it's getting. So this is definitely something that you definitely don't want to miss out on. So definitely pick up volume one for February.
Yeah, definitely. And but don't smoke. Smoking is bad for you.
Yes.
Read stories about smoking, but don't smoke. Okay. So I had to put that public announcement in there. Next up, A Kingdom of Quartz, number one by Bumhat. This is a beautiful fantasy action magical girl sort of story, um, in a world where angels, that sounds a little bit like, you know, the previous intro, in a world where angels protect the people against demons. No, I can't do the voice. So there's a world where angels protect people, actual angels with wings come and protect people from demons, because they attack all the time. And this girl, who's an upfront girl called Blue, she's always dreamed about becoming an angel that protects people too. The only problem is that everybody else's wings are white and shiny, and her wings are black. So obviously, in the orphanage, she gets a lot of weird looks and comments and whispers that she is cursed. But then one day, a group of demons attack the orphanage, and angels come down and swoop down to save them. But in front of her eyes, she sees that the demons are, you know, taking out all the angels, and something inside her sort of wakes up, and she finds this power she didn't know she has to fight the demons, but also they could be a great cost about for her using her power. So there's going to be that duality of good, evil, and whether you are what you are, or you're born, or what you want to do with your life is uh, uh, what matters. So I love these kind of philosophical stories, sort of action, but sort of filled with a lot of philosophical meaning within them. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Very straightforward, but also very. I think it's going to be very cool and very deep at the same time. Yep.
Next up comes to no surprise for my pick. This is The
Yep.
White and Blue Between Us. This is a BL one shot. This is perfect for fans of My Summer Review, which I absolutely loved as well. Also fans of I Hear Sunspot. And so this is a question of, is it ever too late to make up for a lie? So what do we mean by that? So uh, 7 years. It's been 7 years since Hozumi left the island town that he grew up on, leaving behind not only the seaside but also Mishima. And Mishima is his close friend and first love from high school. So the two hasn't spoken since then, and since Hozumi turned down Mishima when he rejected him and lied about his own feelings. And uh, how they reunite again is when Hozumi returns for his high school reunion, and he wants nothing more than to make up for those amends with Mishima, which is a task much easier than done. And in their years apart, actually, Mishima has distanced himself not only from Hozumi, but everybody in the entire town, and chooses to live alone in a lighthouse with his grandfather used to tend to. So he became like a recluse in a way. And so it's the question of, will Hozumi finally be able to break down Mishima's Mishima's walls, clear the air between them, and if he's able to finally confess his true feelings. So are they fated to be separated? Can they make it out together, or like are they separated, or can they make it out to be together? So it's just based on the cover alone, it just sounds like a
Yep.
story that is very much something that I would be drawn into. And again, if you like these other stories, like my summer review as well, you just know that this is the type of it grabs at me, and I just wanted to spend some time highlighting it. And yeah, this seems great.
Yep.
And I love stories where like it's a small town, or in this case, like a small island, and returning back to like your roots, and then
Yeah.
like going through those emotions and like repairing friendships and relationships. I just like it. So,
Yeah. Very cool. So now
and
we're
then we'll
gonna
go into
go
volume
volume
one.
ones. Yeah.
Mhm.
So on this first slide, we have The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten #1. This is could these lonely neighbors be a match in made in heaven? A cozy teen romance based on the novels that inspired the hit anime. That's not much else to say. A beautiful cover here, and then we have Becoming a Princess Knight and Working at a Yuri Brothel, Volume 1. It's like very opposite of the other one. And you have an angel and then a Princess Knight working at a brothel. And then this one is mature rated fantasy isekai. A man is reincarnated into the body of a fallen princess who works at a lesbian brothel. So very straightforward. And then we have Kiss File Compendium, uh, Bing and Ben. Bing and Ben. Am I saying
Mhm.
that right?
Or
Volume one.
Bab for short.
Oh, Bab. Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
They call him Bab. Volume one. And oh, yeah, it does say it on the description. I should have just gone to the description. Also known as Bab, the newest Chinese anime boys love novel series from the blockbuster author of The Husky and His White Cat Shinsu. A modern tale of sci-fi edge, an elite young man with a dark side develops a deep, aggressive relationship with his former doctor. Very cool. Love that cover. Very, very dramatic. And then next is Healer from a Shadow Hero, Healer for the Shadow Hero manga, volume 1. In this steamy fantasy romance, a maid with a secret power must help a hero with his dwindling magic by sleeping with him. Part of Seven Seas steamship imprint, sexy romance for women. Zach, this slide alone shows you how we have something for everyone, something for
Yes.
every taste.
Hmm.
Next
And
slide.
we're gonna continue on some more variations here.
Yep.
We have Punch Drunk Love Volume 1. This is a mature rated boys love, which was webtoon manhwa, now in English full colored print for the first time. Romantic comedy about a soft man. I love that. Everyone loves soft men. Soft men hoping for
Okay.
some hard love.
Okay.
Maybe getting it from the new guy at work. What a premise. You know I'm gonna read this.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and the next step is reincarnated into a game as a hero's friend, running the kingdom behind the scenes. This is the manga volume 1. This is an isekai fantasy. A modern man is reincarnated into a game world as a doomed background character who can help save the world as the hero's shadow. I love that. I love
Yeah.
like
And you know I'm gonna
characters who
read
are
this
aware
one.
that they're not main characters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
one of my favorite like
Tropes.
premises
Yeah.
and tropes.
Oh yeah.
So and you don't want to miss out on the original light novel. That's also
Yeah.
from Seven Seas, so definitely pick that up as well. And then we have the Tree of Death. Oh gosh, my pronunciation's gonna Yomo Sugai, Volume 1. I am so
Sure.
sorry.
Yeah.
This is an action-packed supernatural horror series. I want to go into this a bit more because it's very intriguing. This is about a police officer, Sugu, who lost everything, his wife, his daughter. All that remains is his thirst for vengeance and hunger for immortality. But the thing with immortality is he has to fight this endless war between against this like twisted, undying entity called Ren, who is like a Shinigami who's looking to restore death to the world. So someone in pursuit of immortality and the other person who's in pursuit of death, like opposite of that, to restore death. So it's a matter of whether or not this main character can survive, and will. I mean, it's just as the name implies, the Tree of Death. This is such an interesting premise. I think you should take a look at this volume 1, and then of course Vinland Saga Deluxe 1. This is a hardcover. Beautiful edition. If like we've seen or Hector has seen it in person. So won't tell you much about Vinland Saga because I think everyone knows about it. But just letting you know that this is a premium collector's edition in hardcover that includes volumes 1 to 3 of the Japanese edition of the Vinland Saga. It has bonus content in this as well. Just letting you know, it's just beautiful. This is I'm we're anticipating like huge success and popularity coming out of this and
Yeah.
people wanting to
For
pick
sure.
this up. So, mhm.
Yes.
All right. So,
Like other deluxe manga editions out there, definitely uh,
mhm.
people are gonna love this one too.
Yes, for
Yes.
sure. So that's it for our highlights for
Hmm.
the month of February. We're going to exit the stage, but you can keep viewing and watching this video because we're going to show you all of the other titles that we couldn't mention because of time. But you can see it roll through. So we'll roll through those other titles so you could take a look. So yeah. So that's it for today for us. So thank you for coming back and watching this. Please see our other videos as well. And yeah, comment down below, comments, what are your favorites for the month of February? And that's it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.